Right, we're ready to continue on with Mississippi State. Coach Howland along with Iverson Molinar and Tolu Smith. We'll ask Coach for some opening remarks, then we'll go to questions just for the student athletes. Coach, would you begin?
Yeah, I thought that we came out really strong tonight, had a very good first half. We were really good, and particularly offensively, other than the turnovers. If we hadn't turned the ball over 11 times, we probably would have had the lead. So I was really proud of how we played in the first half. Second half, they came out and jumped on us at both ends of the floor. Obviously, Josiah Jones hit 4 threes, I think like in the first 5 minutes of the half. The second half, they were huge. And so that was a problem because James is such a good shooter. And we knew that. I mean, he's shooting great. He shot 50% in the last 4 games going into tonight, and he's 4 for 6 from 3. We made a couple mistakes not going with the body on him, and he read it well and faded for wide open looks. He doesn't need a lot of time. They're a very good shooting team as a club. They're 8 for 7, 19 from 3, but I think they shoot 37% as a team in conference games. I thought that we got tired. I thought that was evident tonight, that in the second half you could see some of the guys that are playing a lot of minutes, like these two, were really getting worn because when you play back-to-back nights, it's just hard. And when you're playing against a team that's one of the top 10 teams in the country that's, fresh, didn't play yesterday. And that's the advantage of the double bye is, having that opportunity to play a team that's already had to play the night before and getting them. So, credit Tennessee. I think they got a really good team, and I would not be surprised if they go deep, deep into this NCAA tournament. They got a very, very deep team with a lot of size and excellent guard play that can really shoot.
I will take your questions for either of the student athletes. Raise your hand, and let's start on the far left.
Iverson, I know teams have been doing this all season, but is there anything in the second half there, particularly from Tennessee, that you saw them do defensively to kind of try to slow you down a bit?
I feel like when they were trying to, pressure the ball in full court, they tried a lot of face guarding me. They face guarded me a lot, and we had Shaq bring up the ball, which is not. The plan was for me for bring the ball down and make him, make plays for others, make plays for him, so he can shoot. But at the end of the day, I trust him. I trust him with my life, and I knew that he was gonna do the right play at the end of the day. So. In the second half, they came out strong. They came out strong on defense. They tightened it up a lot more than the first half. And, they executed. They did. It's a good team, so.
All right, raise your hand. Other questions? Let's go to the second row.
For both of you guys, at what point did you sort of start to feel the legs and the fatigue of the 2 straight games? Was it more of a second half thing, or was it not much of a problem at all?
Totally, would you take that first?
Yeah, I'd say it was the second half, probably around that first media timeout. I felt it, but we just had to keep pushing, and I think that's a great thing about Mississippi State and our team. We never quit, and we showed that tonight, even though the results isn't what we wanted. I have a lot of pride in our team, and I have great thanks in our coaching staff and our team to show that fight that we have. So.
Same for Iverson.
I would say starting the second half. I was guarding the best, one of the best players in the team. Vescovy, he's really smart. He does a lot of things a lot of people don't notice. He cuts, he screens, he curls. He makes other players get wide open shots. So I feel like I had a huge responsibility on him, and I felt my legs in the second half because in the first half I ran a lot.
Other questions for either of the student athletes? Let's go back to the far left.
For both guys, obviously the expectations you guys talked about coming into the season, now being eliminated, likely not making the NCAA tournament. What's kind of the tone like in the locker room, and how do you kind of, try to stomach what the result is this season?
Iverson.
Like Tolu said, we're a team that we're never going to quit. We have a lot of we have a lot of players that have high character in their teams. So, we feel like out there we just got to, keep pushing, keep being positive, and, as both of us being the leader of the team, we going to tell them that, we got to keep pushing. There's a lot of, there's a lot of game left. There's a lot of game left to prove people that, we're a good team. So the mentality is going to be the same. going into this SEC tournament as it always been. So, you know, we just going to talk to them.
Same for Tolu.
Obviously, our chin is up high. Like I said, we don't quit. And I feel like this season we had a lot of adversity, and I think the coach staff, Coach Howland, did a great job of handling it. Knowing that we had that adversity, we still had to push through, and we showed that fight and that grit, even though we didn't convert on those games. Just having all those obstacles we had to go through, I know it made us a better team. So,
Have time for maybe one more question for either student athletes. All right, let's come down to the front.
Yeah, for both of you again, what makes Tennessee's guards so tough defensively in both of your opportunities to go up against them this season?
Tolu.
well, they're very quick, very small, very crafty. I know all of them are really good shooters, very smart, poised. I know Vescovi is a very good shooter, very poised. I give them a lot of credit. And they got a young core of guards that's really active on both ends of the ball. So they're a really good team, and they're a really good set of guards.
Iverson.
Like you said, it's a really smart team. I feel like a lot of teams can be successful just from the ability to shoot and the ability to have smart guards. And, they have – and I feel like, they have a lot of bodies. Like, it's like I was telling Tolu earlier that, when, let's say, Vescovi comes out, another guard steps in, and it's like he never left because they all produce the same amount of things. They're all smart. They're all aggressive on the offensive end, and not just that, just on defense too. Like, they wear players down, and I feel like that was one of their goals today, wear us down, both of us.
All right, we'll excuse the student athletes. You can return to the locker room.
As soon as I get there, we'll be leaving.
And we'll continue on with the questions for Coach Howland. Raise your hand, and we'll get a floor microphone to you. Let's start on the far left, and then we'll come to you.
Ben, Tolu kind of touched on it there with the adversity the teams had to overcome, obviously him specifically. I know today wasn't his best performance, but he kind of started to find that groove late in the year after everything he's overcome. I mean, what does it mean for you to kind of reflect on everything Tolu's done this season to kind of get to this point and whatever his career holds moving forward?
Yeah, he really went through a lot. You think about 4 different things he had to battle through: a broken foot, a broken toe, COVID, where he was out for 2 games in about 2 weeks, and then he had the knee dislocation. So he's had a lot of adversity. I'm so proud of him, the way he continued to fight through it all and be positive. And we had a lot of guys that had to step up and play bigger roles and different positions. Like I've said before, Garrison had to play a lot of minutes at the 5, where we planned on him playing almost all his minutes at the 4 this year. And so that affected us when he went back to the 4 defensively, because he's not getting the reps in practice or in games guarding, power forwards that space the floor, and that, was an effect on our team as well. But, there was, a lot of adversity, and especially surrounding the fact that one of our top 2 players, missed a ton of games. But I'm just proud of the way the guys handled it and continued to battle and continued to fight and continued to, support each other.
Next question on the right side.
Coach, a tricky question. I hope I word this correctly. Was this a game where Tennessee just was a little bit better than you, or was it stuff you didn't do?
You know what? Tennessee's really good. I mean, we had them down 1 with 5 minutes to go at home, and we're playing really well. I thought that tonight fatigue was an issue for us. We actually didn't really do anything on Tuesday in preparation to try to win tonight by not going, 3 days in a row before we even played our first game on Thursday. And I thought that that was going to help us. But, their depth and their physicality, and they're really good. I mean, I think that Rick is one of the best coaches in the country, not just our league. And they have tremendous players, high-character kids. So you got to give your hat off to them. They played really well, and they could easily win this tournament.
All right, let's go back to the left side. Next question.
I know 2020 was an odd year, but 3 straight seasons without an NCAA tournament appearance. What's kind of the message you kind of try to send into the locker room as you stomach the result of this season?
Unfortunately, 3 years ago, after we went in year 4, year 5, that was the one year we've had a double bye going into this. I remember crying in front of my team, coming back, learning that, first of all, we weren't going to be able to play in the SEC tournament, and having to tell Tyson Carter, who was a senior, that it's over. We don't even get a chance. Because we were probably going to get Florida, which was going to be another quality win. We felt like we would have beat them and had a chance to play Kentucky. And if we win them, we were in. We were right on, we were about where, I think, the second 4 out or first 4 out, I can't remember which, but we were right there. We were really playing well. We won 11 of our last 15 conference games that year. So when you talk about 3 years in a row, one of them was that year. Last year was obviously a tough year for us because we lost, and this has happened 2 years in a row, and it's no fault of anybody's, but we lost Robert Woodard, which I didn't anticipate having a player that would be able to jump right to the NBA, not even being an all-league player in the SEC. And then this year, obviously, again, the same thing happened with DJ Stewart. That being said, it's very hard and very difficult because I thought we had a chance to really get there this year. And you covered the team. We had so many close losses during the year, so many losses that would have made the difference, whether it's Colorado State on the road or Florida on the road or Arkansas on the road or Alabama on the road. You can just keep going, all those games where you really felt like we had a great chance to win and just couldn't close the deal. That's probably the part that's most frustrating for me. And, when you look at what we've done this year, we're 18 and 15 now where we want to be. And probably the biggest thing that we didn't do as well as was shoot the ball. At one point, after a 4-game run, we were 2-37 from 3, and you're just not going to win at this level shooting the ball that poorly.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go to the front row, and then we'll get you on the second row.
Ben, I asked Rick this same question, but I'm not sure if you've seen the news. Conzo Martin is out at Missouri. Just kind of wanted to get your thoughts and your kind of immediate reaction to that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I think Quanzo's such a quality guy and a really good coach. And I also think that the one thing I respect about him, they do it the right way at Missouri. He's a class act all the way around, leadership within an ABC, and really cares about his kids. He's an incredible person, a really good mentor for those young men, being an African-American coach. I'm sure that he'll end up landing on his feet because they went to tournament twice in his 5 years. And I didn't even know that till you just told me that, that's in fact the case. So, he will definitely land on his feet. And he got hurt this year by the transfer portal. Xavier Pinson's at LSU now and Mark Smith's at Kansas State because of the ability to just transfer and go somewhere else. And, who knows how that happened. Both those kids played a ton of minutes for him last year. And if those two kids are in their program this year, he's still the coach. So, a lot of this comes down to, personnel.
We got time for one more question. We'll take it right there.
Yeah, Ben, do you guys, if there's an NIT invitation, do you guys plan to accept that? And then what's next for you? Do you plan to be back next season?
We absolutely want to continue to play if we're invited to the NIT. Obviously, we wanted to be in the NCAA tournament, but it would be an honor to continue to play for our players and for our coaches. And so I hope that happens for us. And in terms of me next year, that will all be determined after the season's over, as it is every year when I sit down with my boss, John Cohen, and discuss the program in the future.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.